Welcome to this episode of the Get the Bag podcast. I'm your host, Kelly, and we're here today with Miss Jamie Scott. Yes. So, Miss Jamie, tell us all about your business and just let us know what you're doing.
Absolutely. So, Jamie Scott, like you said, owner and operator of Snaps by Jamie LLC. Snaps is a passion project for me and is now two years old. So, launched it officially,
Yes.
and I say officially, right? But got my paperwork and all that stuff together in
Mm-hmm.
2020, June of 2020. Because during the pandemic, I was feeling a little crazy, like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the big things I did was start my business.
Yes.
So Snaps is a personalized services creation company, and
Mm-hmm.
so we work with
Yeah.
all walks of people, but small businesses, small business owners, people getting ready to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Someone, I've had a couple of husbands and fiancés need a little help in the
Yes.
gift department. Um, and it's really just something that I'm really passionate about. It's something I've done like on the side forever because I love finding opportunities to make other people happy and
Mm-hmm.
supporting other people, making other people happy. And crafts are kind of like my way to just step to the
Mm-hmm.
side. And so um, I wanted to make sure that Snaps was able to live on its own and
Mm-hmm.
be its own business, its own kind of thing, and me being supportive of it, but also kind of balancing it with like this is still something I love to do,
Mm-hmm.
and so I do try to maintain some management of it so that it's not I'm not overloading myself, making
Mm-hmm.
false promises and things like that. But yeah, it's my baby.
Absolutely. Now, I know we talked prior to the interview, and you were saying that it was a part of a larger organization. Can you tell me
Yes.
about that part of it?
Yes, so it started as Snaps by Jamie, and that is still where everyone can find me on social media, Facebook and Instagram. But it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
morphed. So it's now, the umbrella company is now J in Create. So
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Nicole is my first and middle name.
Yes.
But essentially, that has given me a couple of realms to add to it. It doesn't really fall under the Snaps
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, but with things like professional development and program design
Mm-hmm.
now. So that is something that that my other
Mm-hmm.
professional life I have done for a decade now. So being able to put those skills to use and again share it with other people, and so yeah, so it's
Awesome. So you
morphed.
do a lot of things. Not only does she make products that are tailored to you, but she can also design your curriculum, create a program
Yeah.
on top of all that. That's absolutely amazing. So tell me what got you started as an entrepreneur. What made you want to break out?
Okay, so other than again, I've always done it on the side and like
Mm-hmm.
never. It was one of those things like I never charged people for. I liked being there to
Mm-hmm.
set up and seeing everybody's faces, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so Mr. Ivy, the
Yes.
director here, the senior director here, he's been on my case probably since the small business training started
Mm-hmm.
about joining them, and it's like I know you're doing this on the side, like you need to make it official.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to keep track of all your finances and get more product and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. But then kind of died again. Pandemic kind of had
Mm-hmm.
everybody at a halt. So when the world was virtual, I didn't have an excuse. So we started. We had actually gotten started with the classes right before the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
came in, but Mr. Ivy was able to continue it throughout the pandemic, and I just after the first class of really
Mm-hmm.
getting to know other entrepreneurs and seeing them in various
Mm-hmm.
capacities, like there were some that were thriving, right?
Yes.
But had come back to square one to reset that business
Mm-hmm.
plan. And then people like me who were just getting started and I didn't know if I was going to have an LLC or a sole
Mm-hmm.
proprietorship. And so being able
Mm-hmm.
to learn from other entrepreneurs and
Yes.
kind of soak all of that energy in along the way was just like kind of motivating me. And like as we were writing the business plan step by step and practicing the pitch and all of that, like more of the
Mm-hmm.
ideas and the more tangible like structure of the program of my
Mm-hmm.
business was coming to fruition. And so I'm like, oh, this is okay. Yes, this is what this can be. So yeah, I've been officially an entrepreneur since 2020. Yeah,
Yes, so
2020.
you are a graduate of our free business
Yes.
training classes. Hand
Yes.
claps to
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, and I heard that you also won that pitch contest.
I did. So not my first one. It's my second one. So
Okay.
to anybody who's watching is like nervous about it, because I did do pretty well speaking in front of crowds, but now when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to my own thing. So
Yes.
the second round I was blessed with the $500
Mm-hmm.
to be able to actually purchase a larger
Mm-hmm.
printer and some additional vinyl. So I was
Yes.
able to pump out a bunch of stuff for Juneteenth.
So if you join our free business class, Miss Jamie has been through it.
Oh yeah.
It definitely, we have pitch contest that goes along with that class, and the prize is usually about $500. And so definitely come out and join that free business class. Can you tell us what was the most impactful part for you for
Yeah.
that free business class?
So I think starting from the business plan itself, like I had heard what a business plan was, right? There's structures you can find on Google and all of that, but it's really overwhelming, right?
Yes.
I mean, figuring out where to start,
Mm-hmm.
what should go into each part. But even taking it a step back, like I said, I didn't know the difference even between LLC, sole proprietorship, like all of the things. And so what I appreciated most from the class at the very beginning was that it was like level playing field, right?
Yes.
I wasn't being talked down to as if these are things I should know already. You're even considering being a business, so you need to know all of these things. It was more like, this is how you can become a successful business owner from start to finish. And so there were just like some encouraging tips along the way. Like I said, it helped a lot that there was such a variety of experienced entrepreneurs within the classes, because I think that was like the most tangible takeaway was having this connection even now with some of these small businesses in the area. So I really feel like I'm part of a network. I love seeing the new entrepreneurs that you guys are graduating on a regular basis, which is awesome.
Yep, just graduated a class.
Just graduated. I mean, like that's really it's really inspiring, first of all. But I think it just kind of makes you feel like, okay, someone else is out here doing these things, and I can learn from them. And it's just not a competition. We use the word competition even in the class, right? Who are your competitors? Who are doing some of the similar things, but what sets you apart, right? So I could be doing something with another, or the same thing as an entrepreneur, but you have your niche, I have mine, and there's ways that we can support each other. So that takeaway, I think, is just made me feel like made me feel part of something bigger.
Thank you so much for that.
You're awesome.
You mentioned a large part about knowing the difference as an entrepreneur between an LLC and an S corp and a C corp and a sole proprietorship. A lot of people bypass that, right?
Oh.
Because we hear a lot about LLCs,
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna go get an LLC, but not really realizing if you've been in business for a while and you're earning at a certain threshold, that may not be the right space for you. So thank you very much for talking about that, because I really think that entrepreneurs need to know that, right? Really researching what space you should be in and what works for you best.
Absolutely. And then asking, right? I mean, I think, Kelly, with you, I missed you coming on board, but even now, like we hadn't worked together prior to my launch of the business now, but like just knowing that like I have the resources here.
Oh yes.
It's just again something that makes you feel a little bit more at ease, because it is daunting. I mean, no one whoever swore that going into business for yourself was like the path of least resistance is a lie.
Yes, absolutely.
But knowing that like this is it's a constant learning. Like there's an opportunity for constant learning, constant evolving. Like I said, 2 years into Snaps, Jane Creates was born, and it is something that I think it's going to continue to evolve and grow as like my skill sets improve, and I can identify like what areas I need to continue to grow in, and what the things that I can help or bring on board to make it bigger or go to the next level, like working with my youngsters. So that's what I do during my day job, but being able to work with some of my school age students and kind of teaching them the skill first of all, but then having a little team, right? Being able to pay them stipends, and so there's something kind of empowering too about being able to bring other people on board.
Because I saw your little one out at one of our events, and she had a whole table, right? Like she was absolutely grown. Like this little girl was making it happen, right? Aubrey, right?
Aubrey, yes.
She's out there making it happen. And it's so, I have a daughter too, and she wants to do what I do. So she calls herself Little Diva.
Yes.
And so she wants a podcast as well. But how that really trickles down to our kids and what they see us doing. Because she was out there handling business. She said, Mommy, my Cash App is right here. You send this money, and we're going to make sure I got my money. And then I have my bows and my sunglasses. And she was like so professional. It was the cutest thing. And I was like, oh.
It's just it's opportunity. I think we look past some of that sometimes, like, and get in our little bubble of like, I got to make this work for us, right? Because I want to be able to do more stuff with her. But I mean, it just opened up a whole realm of like, okay, she's seeing me do these things, she's participating with me, and now she's like, Mom, I can do this on my own. I do need your Cash App still, but and she came back for me though, to make sure she got all her funds. So.
Yes. And so I find that as my first female guest, being able to give that back and show other little girls that they can do that is like the ultimate, right?
That's it.
Because
That's the
they take
goal.
it and they run with
They
it,
do.
right?
Yeah.
I saw so many little girls at her table. They were looking at all of her bows and they were like, I want that one. I want. So I subsequently brought like brand new stuff.
Right.
It was
Okay.
so funny. But it was awesome to see how what you're doing has trickled down to your daughter.
I
So kudos
appreciate
to you.
that. Thank you.
What advice would you have for other up and coming entrepreneurs? What would you tell them?
Do your research. I mean, you touched on it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
do your research. I think like don't let the fact that you don't have a business plan be just kind of the deterrent because even jumping into a free business training, if you don't know where to start with the free business training.
Absolutely.
The fact that it is free, I think,
Mm-hmm.
goes under. It's very under the radar, but the content and things that you guys are pushing out
Yeah.
to the community is really changing this the just diversity of what's out here for entrepreneurs. And so having that in house is kind of awesome. So starting there, I think, because again, you don't know what you don't know, and I feel like I stepped into this not knowing a whole lot, but was able to pace myself as
Yes.
I was learning, bumped my head a couple times, but having that like supportive network. So I would say starting with, if it's not EMCC, it should be, but starting here and just kind of talking through. I mean, Kelly, I don't know, I know you are accessible, but
Yes.
kind of talking through ideas maybe and kind of landing under some space with you and your team here, I think would be a good first step.
Absolutely.
But then also like recognizing if you're not ready, that is okay,
It's
right?
absolutely
It's
fine.
okay. It's okay if it's not today. And I'll say, even though Mr. Ivy hounded me about participating, he had been doing that for like a year.
Sometimes we need a little extra push.
That's it, and I'm like, okay, that just made me realize, okay, I got somebody in my corner. So he's trying to push me because he's, he wants me to succeed. So, so pace yourself and find the time that works for you, but just be willing to do the work. Do be willing to do the work, and just don't expect that this is going to be a smooth ride.
Yes.
There's opportunity to grow, I'll say, in entrepreneurship.
So for us, balancing work, balancing side businesses, family, and self-care, how have you done that?
Ooh, that's a work in progress. I think it's
It's a work in progress for all of us, girl.
Right. It's ongoing. I think being aware, first of all, of having to strike the balance, and just being able to ration out my time best. I mean, I am Jamie first. I am a mom, absolutely, and professional and a business owner and all the things. But I'm like, if I'm not taking care of me, then I can't be all of those things to the best of my ability. And my daughter and everybody else really deserve the best of me, but I deserve the best of me too. So I really got into journaling. I think the pandemic helped, but as I was trying to like think through all of the processes that were happening, even during starting the business and really trying to manage COVID period and take care of all my family and health wise and making sure we're all safe. I had to find something that was like my outlet, and so journaling has helped with that. It kind of sparked off into having a professional journal too. So one that is more so for my business and my business ventures, even if they're not the now, the for laters. As ideas are coming to me or things like that, like I make sure that I usually carry it around with me, that I can write those things down because it's a nugget.
Yes, it is.
It's a nugget.
Because you'll forget like 2 minutes later.
Yeah,
like
the way my brain.
and that
Don't
could have
take
been
2
like
seconds
the
anymore.
$1 million idea,
See,
right?
And that's you got to believe that too. But yeah, just being able to figure out what works for you and know when it's time to step away or a pause, right?
Yes.
I think we are all scared of pauses sometimes,
Yeah.
but they're necessary. They're absolutely necessary.
Not being afraid of that pause. Awesome. I think that is awesome. That's meat and potatoes right there. Sometimes you got to step back from it, right? And when you get a chance to step back, because sometimes we get so close up on it. Like when you're close up on it, you can't see everything, right? But sometimes when you take a view from a higher level and you put it down for a second, we actually learned this in a class that we just took that Mr. Ivy made us take. It was, I think it was the writing class, and they say if you're going to edit something, you got to give it 24 hours.
Absolutely.
Step away from it and then come back to it. And I think that is so important, even in businesses, is that, okay, we've been working hard at it, we've been close up on it, pushing, but it's okay to pause for a second and step back and then come back to it.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause it talks, I mean, that really gets you back to like what it could be. Like you said, if you're right here and like, this is the goal and I got to get here, it's not working, I planned it like this, that's the best thing, right? My business plan says this.
Yes.
But I've evolved, and so being able to recognize that, And like I said, I can't say enough about having a network.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, about even if it's one or two other businesses that you're like, I really admire what they're doing
Mm-hmm.
because of this, right? Look
Yeah.
into their mission, look into their values, like what are they producing, and then think about what things you can incorporate. Because that's like it's just this never ending cycle of
Mm-hmm.
doing better, right?
Yeah. And that network is so meaningful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't know people who are doing the same thing that you're doing,
Yeah.
you can't learn from their mistakes,
Yeah.
right? Because you can
Absolutely.
avoid a lot by listening to other
Right.
people, right? And having and looking at those pitfalls and learning from them and networking and taking all that knowledge in, that's so important. Like you're never going to be an island on your own, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that's something that has been echoed throughout this show is that being on an island by yourself is not going to make you the entrepreneur that you want to be or allow
Absolutely.
your business to grow in the way that you want it to.
Absolutely.
So being mindful of that, but I love that how you journal and you balance
Yeah.
things, like getting back to that part and having a place to write down your ideas is super effective. I
It
know it is for
is.
me.
Yeah.
So if you could take anything away from this, make sure you write it down,
Write it down,
y'all.
please.
That is like so important. So tell us where you're going next. What's
Yeah.
next for you?
Ooh, what's next? So, Snaps by Jamie is still moving and grooving. We talked about that balance, about
Mm-hmm.
that pause. So just as things in my professional life have been shifting, it's the great, I don't know, migration,
Yes.
separation, all of the things,
Yeah.
and being able to really support my organization. Up front, it's been taking a little bit more time. So Snaps again have just been just kind of being creative. We're coming up on some holiday time, so look
Yes.
on social media. That's usually when I push out the most of the actual like physical products. But keep in mind that all this is because it's personalized. Someone could call me tomorrow and say there's a wedding coming up. Can you help with blah blah blah? Yes or no, but probably yes.
What type of products do you produce?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's starting with, I mean, kind of everything from T-shirts,
Mhm.
canvas bags, and cups, and
Mhm.
really, I think it always kind of starts with a conversation.
Mhm.
Because although I can't meet the need of, I can't make car decals and things like that, big
Mhm.
ones. The little ones, kind of starting a conversation with people like, what is it that you are looking for? Like, are you celebrating something? Are you wanting to showcase something? And then we can kind of have like a little bit of a think tank. And so it's evolved from the T-shirt business, right, to these canvas bags and personalized like bachelorette items. We did a promposal. It's a
Oh,
thing. Promposal.
yes.
It's super cute. And yeah, and of course even my daughter, business cards and
Yes.
things. So, I mean, I learn it if I don't know it. If I learn it and yeah, and kind of produce it from there. So
Yes, I did
it's a
see
variety.
business cards you created for another
Yes.
one of our
Oh
entrepreneurs.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
She is making things happen for other businesses.
Listen, that's it. 'Cause I want to be just as much of a resource. If I'm taking, I'm getting things from people all the time. So I want to make sure that I'm being a resource to others as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Jamie, for spending your time with us today. Can you tell us again where you can be found?
Absolutely. So social media, if you're on Facebook, you can look me up at Snaps by Jamie. Instagram is also Snaps by Jamie. You can also email Jamie S at jncreates.com if you'd like to just do a consultation and talk through what you may be needing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And as always,
Get the
get the
bag.
bag. The evolution of your small business starts today. Sign up for our partners Verizon Small Business Digital Ready platform, a free service to you to advance your business. Check the link below and click on that, and it'll take you right to our Verizon Wireless link.